all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning. Here's everything you need to know at the start of the week. This is the daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint, and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 26th of November. In the week ahead, all eyes are going to be on US President Donald Trump and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping and their planned meeting at the Group of 20 Leaders meeting in Argentina. That kicks off on Friday. Apart from that, minutes from the last meeting of the Federal Reserve will be out, and that will help gauge the likelihood of a rate hike in December. European Central Bank President Mario Draghi addresses the European Parliament's Committee for Economic and Monetary Affairs. And in data releases, China industrial profits are due on Tuesday, US new home sales and international trade on Wednesday, while jobless claims are released on Thursday. And to cap off the week, China manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMIs are due on Friday. Now I'll come back to the international news, but first let's talk about the big talking point back home. The assembly elections in Rajasthan will be held at the end of next week. Yesterday, the Congress expelled 28 leaders in the state, and that includes 9 former MLAs and an ex-union minister. The action was initiated on the direction of State Congress Chief Sachin Pilot because these individuals filed nominations against the party's official candidates. Meanwhile, the BJP has also expelled 11 individuals in the state from the primary membership of the party for 6 years for the same reason. Now, by the end of this week, the government and the Reserve Bank of India are expected to appoint members for an expert committee which will look into the economic capital framework of the central bank. That's a PTI report. Remember, this is based on the decision that was taken by the RBI board last week. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said that the government doesn't need any extra funds from the Reserve Bank of India or any other institution to meet the fiscal deficit target. But he said that the extra funds which may accrue from the new capital framework of the RBI can always be used for poverty alleviation programs over the next few years by future governments. In other news in the sector, the Finance Ministry hopes that 3 or 4 banks will come out of the RBI's prompt corrective action list this financial year, following an expected modification of guidelines and an improvement in earnings. Now, if you were planning to skip the line to check into your next Indigo flight, you should know that web check-ins are now chargeable. The carrier has said that it has revised its policy since the 14th of this month to make all seats selected online chargeable. This will cost between 100 and 800 rupees depending on the preference of seat. Back to international news now. French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire has said that the governance and shareholding structure of the Nissan-Renault alliance shouldn't be changed following the removal of Nissan chairman Carlos Ghosn. He called the alliance indispensable. Meanwhile, Japan's national broadcaster NHK reported that Ghosn has denied any wrongdoing after being arrested for alleged financial misconduct. In other news, the UK has agreed to Brexit terms at a special summit in Brussels, with European leaders warning British politicians that they will not get a better deal if they reject the offer on the table because there is no plan B. Theresa May has refused to rule out quitting as UK Prime Minister if she fails to push through the deal. She said that she will personally lead a campaign lasting a few weeks to win support for her agreement among politicians and voters. Then Parliament will hold a decisive vote on whether to accept or reject the accord before Christmas. In international markets, Asian markets are off to a mixed start at the start of this week. That's after Wall Street posted its worst Thanksgiving week since 2010. Now, the Nikkei and Kospi were trading higher while the Australian benchmark was trading with cuts of about 0.5%. With that, it's over to Darshan Mehta for the trade setup for the day in India. Good morning, Darshan. How are we looking at the start of the week?
Hi Alex, good morning everyone. The global cues don't seem to suggest extreme optimism at this point of time. The US markets ended lower. Asia is trading weak. Crude was another factor. It was down 6% on Friday. So it's currently trading at a one-year low. Commodities overall are trading weak and the SGX Nifty is indicating a slight negative outlook. But remember, we were short on Friday and the SGX Nifty closed up by 30 points. We're down by close to 9 points at this point of time. So expect a flattish start as far as our markets are concerned. In terms of stocks that you need to watch out for, Vodafone India plans to monetize 11.5% stake in Indus Towers and sell fiber assets, says Chief Executive Officer Balesh Sharma as per Bloomberg. Indian Oil Corporation's Finance Director AK Sharma says that the company hopes to meet the 9 million tons Iran import target for the financial year 2019. Infosys arm announces successful completion of digital payment solution to Cyprus-based RCB Bank. OBC intends to divest its stakes in the joint venture Canara HSBC OBC Life Insurance at an appropriate time depending on the market conditions. Strides Pharma Sciences board approves the investment of $15 million in its biopharma arm Stelis. Bharti Airtel's Netherlands arms gets a tender for $995 million for the senior notes issued due 2023. The company says that the up to $505 million principal amount of notes remains outstanding. BEML was awarded contracts worth 3,000 crores for the supply of 378 metro coaches. In terms of telecom revenue market share, Reliance Jio market share increased to 26.2% from 22.4%. Bharti Airtel's revenue market share fell to 31% from 31.7%, and Vodafone Idea's revenue share fell into 32.8% from 34.7%. In terms of bulk deals, Equitas Investment acquired 44.6 lakh shares in Talwalkar Fitness. Aditya Birla Mutual Fund was the seller. Tata Chemicals will meet Fidelity today, and Rupee is at a 3-month high. In terms of stocks in the F&O band, Adani Enterprises, Adani Power, Jet Airways and DHFL remain the one. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab, and you'll be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks, Darshan. And thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a fantastic week ahead.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladiti Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.